After you've traced your letter and the dividing lines for your patterns, it's time to add the details. So there are a few tools that we're going to work with when we do this. The first one is just a regular pencil. Not that sharp, try to make it a little bit dull. Not a mechanical pencil either, a regular pencil. I do also have these wooden styluses, just like a wooden pointy stick. They work the same way as the pencil if you don't have a pencil. I personally like a pencil better, but either one will work. And the next thing I have is a popsicle stick. We can use the end of the popsicle stick as it is, but what I like to do is I like to take a little piece of felt and wrap it around the edge, soften up the edge, and wrap, keeping it on using a piece of, using a rubber band. So that's really the basic tools that we're going to be using for this. So some of you might have put a design into your letter, some of you may not have. I didn't. So I want this letter to be left empty, and I want it to really pop out. Now, when you traced through the paper before, sometimes, it does transfer, but it's not as deep as it can go. So I'm actually going to very carefully retrace those lines and just making them a little bit deeper. Just me doing that actually made it more 3D. It made the middle part pop up a little bit more, but I want this to really be 3D. So I'm actually going to flip it to the back, and I'm going to use this popsicle stick tool. And very carefully, I'm going to push into the middle part. Now it's popping out even more. Okay, if I want the other parts to go in more, I can actually push from this side to make other parts go in the other direction. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding my patterns. Now it's really up to you whether you want to work solely from the front or whether you want to also work from the back. You can see from the back it looks a little raised, so if you were to draw from the back, it would look like that on the front. You can go back and forth. Remember, you need to work a little bit bigger. The small details might get a little bit lost. So start with my first pattern. Notice how it kind of skipped there. That was just because the metal was fighting me in a spot. So it's not as neat as I would like it normally to be. Just do your best. Sometimes the edges, it does fight you. Just make it as neat as you can. Now I was working all from the front. Maybe I want to add a little details from the back within there. So maybe I'm going into these to make the middle part stand out more. And I'm going to just keep going. Decide working from the front, working from the back. If you want to puff any areas out, just be careful. Sometimes the metal will fight you. It wants to bend in one direction and not the other. So just take your time and work carefully. And again, the more you work at it in an area, so the more three-dimensional you can actually get.